So, how can men have multiple orgasms? Indeed, is it even possible? Now, of course, the standard Western scientific approach towards orgasms for males is that you have one, and that an orgasm and an ejaculation is the same thing. Now, there's plenty of men who are just getting bored with this one simple orgasm. And of course, if you've seen a woman who is multi-orgasmic having just wave after wave of orgasm, you know, it can get like quite jealousy provoking, actually. I mean, one friend of mine, jokingly, he said to me, he said, I never realized how difficult it was to be a woman, you know, talking about how we have to be on the receiving end of, you know, sexual discrimination and misogyny and so on. He says, but then when I just think about it, you guys get like multiple orgasms. It just must make up for everything, you know? Well, the good news is, guys, men, you can have multiple orgasms too. In fact, there's something that everybody can achieve. But a lot of it is about actually changing your own worldview towards your body, towards your emotions, and to do with what sex and pleasure is actually about. Now, if you look at the standard male ejaculation, which would be to, if you look at masturbation, to take the penis, jerk it like this until there's an ejaculation, or the sex with a woman, it tends to be just banging in and out like this until the male ejaculation as well. But it's almost as if both men and women have been so deeply programmed to actually believe that that's all that there is to sex for a man, that it almost kind of becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. I mean, it's with so many things, right, that we get told, oh, this thing is just like this, and then we just go along with it and expect it, and we kind of turn it into what it actually is. So experiencing multiple orgasms, in many ways, it actually is about turning on its head what are your preconceptions and beliefs about your sexuality as a man, and for the woman, the female partner, to also turn that on her head. Because many women, we think that, you know, our male partner needs to ejaculate. If he doesn't, that there's some kind of, you know, that we've done something wrong, that we're not doing things properly. And I've heard this from males who've started to practice non-ejaculatory sex, that their female partner might get quite confused and, you know, feel that there's something wrong, that he's not ejaculating. So the first step to having full body orgasms for men is to actually start to understand that there's a difference between orgasm and ejaculation. So we can say ejaculation is the liquid coming out of the penis. Now, some men ejaculate with no orgasm. A lot of men will have experienced that at least once or twice. So you can probably get the idea that the orgasm is the energy, it's the nice feeling, it's the buzz, it's the rush. And sometimes you can have it very intense, continuing for quite some time. Other times it's just a little bit of an anticlimax. Now imagine that feeling of orgasm is energy moving. It's the energy activating, and the energy wants to go somewhere. Now, if you allow that energy to move up your body, it's going to just continue flowing up, up, up. And that's when you see when ladies are having multiple orgasms and they're just lying there and they're just again and again and again orgasming, you know, that's what's happening. That energy is moving up. Now, a man can have the same thing. He can have that upward movement of energy. But the first thing is, if you consider mentally in your head when you're going for sexual stimulation, that what you're trying to do is bring on that ejaculation, you won't start having those multiple orgasms. So it's important to really like have a look at that programming. And this might be something that's difficult to shift from. You know, I find some clients just like that, they get that idea and it works for them straight away. Others, they get stuck on the idea that they need ejaculation for pleasure. And if you're stuck on that idea, it's really important to have a look at like what is going on, because ultimately that's going to come down to blocked emotions that you have, repressed emotions, emotions that you're probably not even aware of, that's you know, actually stored inside of your body. And these will be causing you to feel like you need to have sex in this way just for the purpose of ejaculation, because it's your way of essentially like trying to let off steam. So to start moving this energy up, it's really important to start becoming aware of your body. And just the first thing, you know, that I recommend is to start practicing deep belly breathing. So 20 minutes a day is probably a minimum, you know, lying down on your bed, breathing in and out, just really feeling that your belly is rising and falling. And this has a relaxing effect on the whole body. Now, there's a lot of men that tense their abdomen. Okay, the tensing of the abdomen is something that will cause sexual problems in the long run, because it's going to stop the blood going down into the sexual organs. Now, if you're finding you're getting an erection, losing it, getting an erection, losing it, tension in the abdomen, which also correlates with emotions, repressed emotions, could be like a major factor. So it's really, really important to do this breathing, because what this breathing does is it expands your belly, relaxes your belly as it moves in and out. Now, many people aren't used to this breathing, so it's important that when you first do it, you really get the belly moving on its own, but then you need to relax and you need to really allow, you know, so that's why I say the minimum of 20 minutes, but it should almost be that when you start feeling the relaxed breathing, that's when the 20 minutes starts, you know. So this is something that you may need to practice like for months every day, you know, and doing it every day is pretty important. If you just do it, you know, once in a while, it's not nearly so effective. And just really bringing your awareness into your body, into your breath. Now, of course, sometimes bringing our awareness into our body can be difficult, right? Because we live in our heads and we live in our sexual organs. We tend to kind of ignore this whole part in between, which unfortunately then seems to just, you know, give us all sorts of diseases and sicknesses. We don't understand it. We feel like we don't understand our health, you know. But when we start breathing, it brings the awareness into our body, and we can start having feelings come up. So I find a lot of people that don't practice their belly breathing, it's actually that emotions are coming up, feelings are coming up, and they're just, that stops them because they think, oh, I don't like this feeling, and then they stop it, you know. And the thing is, meditation, we can think, oh, meditation is all about feeling zen, perfect, really great. But essentially, you know, meditation can bring up negative emotions because we need these to come up in order to heal. And it's not actually something to be afraid of, you know, these negative emotions. It's not something that we need to avoid, because we can actually feel and experience negative emotions and really, really be okay with this, you know, and finding techniques to just feel things and sit with them, not freak out every time a bit of guilt or a bit of anger or a bit of fear comes up, is very, very important for our development as human beings. Now, once you've started your belly breathing and you're feeling your belly is quite relaxed, so the next thing that's quite important to do is actually to start activating the energy field of your heart. Now, there's a very simple Taoist hack in order to open up the energy field of your heart. It's actually simply just to shut your eyes, look inside, and smile into your heart. And just smile and send love there into your heart. So when we do this, we start to get a feeling, just a pleasant feeling inside of our hearts. We get a relaxed feeling, and this feeling is the electromagnetic field of our heart opening up. Now, when this starts to open, it's going to want to start pulling that energy, the sexual energy up. So it basically acts like a magnet that starts to pull the energy up. Now, some people will get, sometimes on some people, the energy starts moving up a little bit, and maybe they get vibration down here. It doesn't come up all the way. It's actually not really good if the energy is only coming a little bit, and then you're tensing here. So I've noticed that some men do this and they tense here, and it's very, very important the energy comes up to your heart, because that's actually where the energy like really, really transforms to create this kind of like superfood for your body and soul. That's what we want from multiple orgasms. So so yeah, it's very, very important that your belly is relaxed. It's just absolutely key, you know. And of course, yes, as we've said, this is about emotional release, you know, but being multi-orgasmic is actually a natural healing mechanism of our body, and it's something that the Taoists understood thousands of years ago in ancient China. They really understood like how important orgasmic energy was, and that's why there's this whole Taoist sexology, which is essentially like a really like nerdy sexology looking into the whole science of energy, the energy of the body, but specifically the sexual energy, and how this is important for our health, for our vitality, for our longevity, for our creativity as well, and for our happiness. So when the sexual energy, which arises in the perineum, when the sexual energy is able to actually travel up our body, we get access to this massive source of energy. We get access to this really really quite powerful energy. It's the most powerful energy that we can possibly have, and we're able to use this then to regenerate our body on the cellular level, so we can look younger, we can have more energy, more vitality. So multiple orgasms are a very important thing. They're a very important part of our life, and they're something that anybody can do, but you need to be aware that actually being multi-orgasmic, that is our natural programming as human beings. But we've been programmed to view sex as a shameful thing, as something to feel guilty about. And that is why men get stuck in a ejaculation cycle, why women are orgasmic or they're anorgasmic, or they're just stuck in the cycle of just fighting for a single orgasm and not having their multiple orgasms either. So if we really want to experience pleasure, we really want to have multiple orgasms, it's essential that we actually start to just completely throw everything out the window that we think about sex, and start to essentially get this new perspective, where we're actually just coming back to experience what the sexual energy is about, as a pure, pleasurable, life-giving force that's here to revitalize us, to give us creativity, to make us healthy and strong.